Hey guys, it's Cool P. I am back with another Sunday grind video. Um, and yeah, I've been playing for a couple hours now and I want to get some more content out, so I decided to start recording this time. I'm gonna try to make these videos probably about an hour long, go from break to break instead of my normal 15 minutes. Because I think I might know how to upload videos longer than 15 minutes onto YouTube now. If I can't figure that out for a while, I might sit on these videos for a long time before I can upload them, but I'm going to really try to figure it out, and I'm making these videos that long to get myself to make sure I can figure it out. I don't know what length of videos you guys want. I mean, you guys might want me to do the whole Sunday grind in one video. I have a feeling that would just be way too long of a video for people sometimes. I don't know if you like the 15-minute chunks, if you wanted 30-minute chunks, I'm not really sure. But anyway, started off well. When I started this video, I doubled up in this satellite to the high roller. I definitely like playing the high roller, but when I haven't been playing as much recently, I don't want to just drop $200 on it. I would rather satellite into it. I probably won't play it if I don't win a satellite to it, but yeah, I'm just playing these 5 tournaments for right now. I'm going to look for a 6th. I know you guys, well, actually, I'm not really sure. I was going to show it here, but anymore. I don't know if you guys like it when I play lots of tables at once, like 6, or if this is just too much on the screen going on at a time, or if you'd rather have me just play 4. I feel like 4 is kind of either 1 or 4 are kind of the best numbers for me to be playing, because, you know, 4 I have a lot of stuff to talk about all the time usually, but you can still kind of see everything really well. With 1, you know, I'm just focused on 1, and it's kind of intriguing, really getting an in-depth view on that one tournament. But, you know, I'm playing right now to make money, and I'm recording partly because I feel like it helps me out a lot when I record, and partly because I kind of enjoy, you know, putting stuff out there. But, yeah, I wanted to get some more content up, so even though I'm playing tons of tournaments, you know, some people might like this more too. Everybody has their own preference probably. But yeah, tell me which ones you like more, how many tables you like me playing and stuff like that. It'll help me know what kind of content to bring out in the future. So far the day hasn't been going all that well, but I guess that's kind of normally how it is when you play tournaments, because you get knocked out of tournaments a lot quicker than you win them. I got knocked out of the Bodog 100K on a kind of half stupid bluff, half would have been brilliant if it worked type of play. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it was way too early to try something like that. But oh well, I'm out of that. I lost a couple other smaller tournaments, I think. I'm doing pretty well in the Lock Poker 100K tournament. That's one right here. I've doubled my starting stack 2 hours into it, so I'm doing pretty well here. This is just a 10K. I guess now it's 5 o'clock tournament. It was a 3 o'clock tournament when I was on the West Coast. Now it's a 5 o'clock tournament in the Midwest. And I'm playing everything way later than I'm used to. Anyways, yeah, so this just started. This is just a small turbo rebuy tournament on Lock. I have very few amount of chips actually in this tournament because I wasn't able to acquire a lot. Oh, I lost most of my chips right before the add-on period. This is the high roller satellite, like I said before, and this is 24K, you know, rebuy on Lock, which I'm very short in as well. And whoops, I will be looking for another tournament to play. I probably will not be playing any tournaments off of this monitor, unlike I often do, because my setup is a little more funky here in Kansas City. I have to take the monitors from my work computer and then hook them up to my laptop, so I don't have as many monitors as I used to, and it's a lot funkier of a setup. So, well, this is about as good a spot I think I'm going to get to try to 3-bet somebody. So yeah, I'm only going to be playing tournaments on this monitor, so it'll help me keep track of what I'm commentating on a little easier and give me a little bit more time to focus on it. Although it's not a lot of time. beeping at me for? Oh. Also, Poker Tracker has been kind of... Oops, phone call. Poker Tracker has been kind of freaking out on me a little bit recently. It's working right now, but it occasionally will just start not working on certain tables or slowing down my whole computer a lot, so I have to like shut it down and restart it. Yet it has been working on Bodog for like the first time ever, and I didn't do anything to it, so I don't know what's up with that. And I don't think you guys can actually see the Poker Tracker overlays, which is kind of weird. You can see everything else on my screen, but you can't see the stats I have up. I don't really know why that is, but it just is. Well, I guess let's get into some strategy instead of just me just blabbering on about nothing all that important. Well, there's no hands to talk about right now, so maybe I'll just keep blabbering, even though that's not a word. To keep talking about Poker Tracker though, if you're going to be playing lots of tournaments, you need something like that, because after playing without it for a while, I've realized it's very difficult to play lots of tables and get good reads on people when you don't have Poker Tracker or some kind of software. Because a lot of the reads I do is based off of the stats I see, and I see because I can't pay, like this player right here, his VP is 25 and his pre-flop raise is 9. It's like I would have no clue about that kind of stuff if I didn't have a tracking software, because frankly, man, this guy raises pre-flop a lot actually. I'm just in such an early position and I haven't really gotten a lot of hands on him. So like I'd have no idea because I'm not paying attention to this guy very closely, I'm really not, and so that's the only way I can get a basic read on him. Otherwise I just have to treat him like some random player unless I specifically see a couple things, which is rare. And then I have information on 10% of players instead of all of them. So I have some options of how to play this. I feel like this is just kind of a little feeler bet, but I also want to take control of the pot. So I'm going to do a min raise here to take control, but to keep him in with like a jack or king jack or queen jack. I hope it's not king jack. I mean, maybe queens isn't quite a strong enough hand to try to kind of squeeze out those extra bets and leave myself a little vulnerable, but that is a good card unless he has his 10 or something like that. But I feel like I'm in a strong enough position to really try to squeeze out some value from this guy, because I feel like his range was really in the pair of jacks, maybe pair of sixes, but probably not type of range, or maybe like a pair of 8s or 9s or something. But when he fired out like that, he probably doesn't have a monster. Sometimes I do that with a monster, but most players will just check to the better with a really strong hand. But he probably had a hand that was somewhat vulnerable, that he wanted to kind of see where he was and probe a little bit. And when I have a strong hand in comparison to a medium strength hand, I want to try to extract value from him. He had queen jack, which is right on the range where I put him. And, I wanted to extract as much value as I could. I probably could have made a pretty strong bet on the river there. I'd still gotten paid off because he hit 2 pair. And I maybe should have been thinking about that. I would have been really impressed with myself if I could do something like that. That was probably bad. I probably should have. Shipping that from first isn't really that fun to do. So I'm not too disappointed I folded that. Shouldn't have let myself time out though. So my computer feels like it's running really slow, and I think it has something to do with Poker Tracker. I tweeted about it once, and then Poker Tracker actually responded to me on Twitter saying I should just contact their support, which I should do, and I just haven't yet. But oh well, see, all my stats just went blank on this tournament, and to get them back, I usually have to minimize it and then bring it back, and then usually the stats will pop up again. Although again, you guys can't see them. But I do occasionally talk about him. Yeah, it's just going so slow. And at a certain point, it becomes not worth having Poker Tracker and being barely able to play. So, but anyways, that Queen's hand, I felt like I played it just about as well as I should have. The only thing I maybe could have done better, I feel like, would have been to, you know, think he probably hit 2 pair. If he even hit 2 pairs, so strong bet could get paid off here. But, you know, I made it so much stronger bet, I think. Here, I'm kind of in the position that other guy was in. And I just kind of want to see where I'm at. That call looks very much like a queen or another pair. I don't know, what else is he calling with? The only hands I beat are like 8s or 7s or 6s, and I don't beat 7s anymore. I mean, unless he's calling with overs because he doesn't think I have anything, but that's weird because I could have a queen. I'm gonna go all in against this guy. I feel like I can get a fold. He's just raising pre-flop so much, I might even have the best hand. Then he just raised the minimum, and a lot of times that's kind of a tell. I gotta turn off Poker Tracker, this is just getting too ridiculous. Which is very unfortunate because, like I said, it's very helpful. But it's not even showing up on 2 of my tables, and it's just slowing everything down. Anyways, he's been raising a lot. He's got a ton of chips, which does frighten me a little bit because he might make some loose calls because of that. But he's been raising a lot. He just raised the minimum on the button, which with someone who's playing aggressive, it doesn't really need anything. If I was in late position, I'd do something with his hand. So, you know, Jack 9, I got really good fold equity, I feel like. And I'm rarely going to be dominated. Well, I'll be dominated occasionally, I guess, but it's not a terrible, terrible hand. And I honestly could have been beating his range. I mean, if he was raising into 2, I was beating his range, so I wouldn't have been shocked if he was raising into 2 there. It's a set of 10s, but it's not good enough. It's going so much smoother now. It's really frustrating too. I gotta get that figured out. But I'll just have to play with a small handicap compared to what I'm used to. It means I need to be a little bit more vigilant and paying attention to how certain players play. So this hand, I just hit a monster, so I gotta just get some chips in the pot. I mean, the pot is so small. There's no reason to slow play anything when it's that small. Here, I just gotta shove. I mean, I got a strong hand. Oh man. This is when I kind of want to see the guy's stats. But I'm going to 3-bet him to kind of take control of the pot. It'll make my continuation bets work a lot more often, I think. Which is one of the big reasons why I want to continue, why I wanted to 3-bet there. Because now aces and kings are in my range so often that, you know, if he doesn't hit it, it's really hard to keep going. I almost wanted to call because I didn't want to play it out of position, but I figured if I call and I miss, it puts me in kind of an awkward spot. It just, you know, I want to keep aces and kings and queens in my range right there, so 3-betting does that really well. Because if I miss, I want to be able to portray that I have those hands. Here I'm 3-betting because I have position on this guy, and it makes it kind of hard for him. I can easily get away if he 4-bets. So I have a strong hand, I'm in position, you know, I'm putting the pressure on this guy to do something. He just raised the minimum too, so it doesn't mean he has anything. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this guy to do something to stop me from making that play, you know. And it's not like I've been 3-betting a ton in this tournament, just maybe, I mean, those are the only 2 times I've done it at this table. Although, I think I just showed up to that table. See, the other thing that Poker Tracker can help. Reminds me when I switch tables. I definitely need to improve upon. Did my video shut off? No, I don't think so. Anyways, if I'm still recording, I don't even remember what I was saying. Yes, I am still recording. Okay, good. Okay, so I got two big hands, well, three big hands here. I feel like I got some full equity, but man, I don't actually like that spot very much. The raising from first position freaks me out a little bit. That's another spot where I really want stats so I can kind of see. So this time I'm going to raise this guy again, but I can definitely protect myself. And this guy might be getting sick of me 3-betting at this point, because now it looks like I'm doing it a lot. Here I'm just going to shove. I mean, if he has aces, he has aces, but I feel like I get, you know, my best chance again to call with the worst hand is right now. When you play aces and kings too cutesy pre-flop, sometimes you can really, oh man, I feel like I can't quite raise. Last time I almost got him. He said the last time I folded you, so he's getting frustrated with me. God, I'm such a nit sometimes. Here, I definitely gotta shove him so short. And I didn't get the call, unfortunately. So he raises the minimum again. His hand isn't really good enough in that position to 3-bet him. And I doubled up ace-7. That's kind of a weird call. I think I can just shove again here. I mean, I don't love this shove, but I mean, I barely have 10 more than 10 times the big blind, and I have ace-jack and then 1 plus hijack, so I might as well just shove and try to take down the blinds. Oh wow, I did not see this developing. Wow. Again, how useful stats would be, huh? I feel like I'm short enough, and both these guys are short enough, I can make this call. I mean, I could be against 2 under pairs very easily, which is a pretty good spot. Or I'm having both dominated. But I lose anyways. Wow. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. This is a pretty big tournament too. Oh well. That happens. I need to find some new tournaments. Let's see what's going on. It's a pretty small one. $15 freeze out. I'm playing a little bit smaller tournaments than normal because I haven't been playing as much, and I don't have as much confidence in my game, I guess, and my skills. So I'm moving down a little. I also haven't had great results recently, so a lot of times when I'm not having great results, I move down a little bit to protect myself from losing too much money too fast, and you know, play against easier competition. It helps me get my confidence back up. Plus my bankroll's usually smaller if I'm losing, so it's a way of, you know, keeping my bankroll doing well, I guess. So I'm getting really close to the satellite, or to the money, I guess. Top 10 payout, top 7 get a seat, but I'm 11th out of 12, so I still gotta wait to go before I get a seat. But that's in a satellite. That's always something you really want to be aware of, is where you sit in the tournament and stuff like that. Because it can really affect your strategy if, you know, you're far away from the bubble or from the satellite bubble, or you're really close to it. It really affects how you're supposed to play. So you got to make sure you're aware of that. If you can definitely make the wrong play if you're not, and I've definitely done that before. I don't think there's a ton I should do here. Transfer tables. Man, I really wish I had stats. Just stop whining about it, but man, they can come in real handy. I guess it's my own fault for not figuring it out before I play. I've had plenty of time to do that. I also really hope I can upload this video, because frankly, I would hate to record for an hour and just not be able to upload any of it for you guys. Here's an interesting spot. I definitely could shove with this, but I don't think I really should. Well, that actually changes things a little bit. So I don't think he would call an all in. There's a lot of chips in there that are very unlikely dominated if I get called. I wish I was a little later in position to do that into so many people, but also a lot of these guys are having to, you know, the blinds and stuff are going to have to go all in if they were going to call, which a lot of people are more hesitant to do. And the guy who limped just changed the odds of it so much, in my opinion. I feel like, yeah, he might be limp calling, but it's a horrible play if he is, unless he's got like aces or something, which is still, in my opinion, probably not the best play. Well, actually, maybe there it is, but that's such an unlikely situation anyways. But, you know, it just, the amount I can win is so much more compared to my stack that it makes that play totally worth it at that point, because none of the hands behind me changed, and so, you know, they're either going to call me or not. They're actually probably less likely to call me because they're worried about, you know, that guy over there. So it actually increases that I'm going to get folded out of all these guys, although slightly. And, you know, this guy, I didn't think he was going to call me anyways, because it's just some guy who limped in a $5 turbo tournament, you know. It doesn't say anything about his hand other than it's probably very mediocre and he's probably going to fold it to a big raise. Which is exactly the kind of hand I wanted to have. I guess I should raise here. I don't necessarily want to that bad, but I have to fight my tendencies to be too much of a nit. Making a note on this guy saying he's getting sick of me 3-betting him because, one, I want to remember, you know, I've had it in the past where I don't look at names very often of the players. I usually look at seats. So if a player, you know, gets eliminated and I didn't see it happen, and the new players there, I might still think he's the same other player, but if I put a note, it'll help me remember. And on top of that, you know, he might have made a note of me that I 3-bet a lot. So I also might just forget in the heat of the moment that it's this guy if it's an hour later. Yeah, where is here? Small blind against big blind play is something I still yet to figure exactly what the best approach is. I seem to do very poorly in that situation. I've heard that's just typical because you have to play out of position and stuff like that, but doing really bad in that spot. Yeah, raising into 4 players, I can shove this hand. Although this guy's so short though. Yeah, he's probably just folding to try to get a seat, or folding to get in the money even, and he's got a random hand, so if he calls me, I probably have him beat. Here I definitely got to shove. I mean, this is an unexploitable play. It's so hard for them to wake up with a hand enough times to have me beat that there's no way that play... I mean, that play, there can be a better play than that at times. I mean, it's never... isn't necessarily the perfect play, but it's a play that these two players cannot do anything to take advantage of me in that spot because my hand is so strong. And it's so hard for them to have a hand that beats me enough times to make that play not worth the pot odds I'm getting. If that made any sense. Also, in the comments, if you guys respond to a specific hand, put the timestamp of the hand in the comments so I can look back at it, because I'm not going to remember every single hand that I play afterwards, and I like to respond to your comments. But it's hard for me to do that if you say you played this hand well, or you played that hand poorly, or you should have done this with that hand. If you say that, I'm going to have to go through the whole video to find what hand you're talking about. I got to shove here, I feel like. I'm in the money now, although I'm really close to... But I'm a short stack in the tournament. I gotta shove there. This guy doesn't really have much of an incentive to call me. Oh, well, maybe he did. I hit 2-pair though. That's a really weird call. That's the kind of hand I'm trying to get him to fold. I don't know why he would call that. That's really weird. Unless he just was really sure I was messing around. But that put me in great position to get a seat now and put him in some danger. So I don't know why he made that call. That was really weird. So 2 more eliminations and I got a seat. Although now I'm just basically tied with a lot of the shorter stacks. But I mean, he put himself in last place with that call. I don't understand that. But like I was saying before that, if you like that hand, for example, if you thought my play with Queen 7 was good or bad, let me know in the comments. If you thought I should shove there, let me know in the comments, but timestamp the hand so I can go back to it, so I can easily go, oh yeah, now I remember what hand you're talking about. Otherwise there's too many hands for me to remember and be able to respond to all of them. But if you timestamp it, I can re-look at the hand and go, okay, this is probably what I was thinking. I agree with you, that was probably a bad play, or, you know, actually this is what I was thinking, this is why I think it was a good play. Oh man, I hate these kind of spots. Because it's like, I need to start shoving, but I'm not going to get called by anything worse. I'm going to fold this. That's one of those hands I feel like I play it differently than what you're supposed to do. Because I really think what you're supposed to do is wrong, because I'm not going to get called by anything worse. And yeah, I need to start taking the blinds, but I'd rather be in the small blind with like Jack 9 and try to take it there than try to get through 9 players with Jack, Ace, Jack. You know, it just... I mean, I might get in the coin flip against like 9s or 10s or something, but it's not really where I want to be. I'd rather sit on my short stack and, you know, once the blinds pass me, try to take it then. And maybe I'm right. Maybe that is how you're supposed to play that spot. But from what I feel like I've heard in the past and what the other online pros typically say, I think, is that that's a spot where you just have to shove it. And also maybe it's because their image is so much looser a lot of the time, they can get away with it because they'll get called by worse hands, you know. But in that spot in this tournament with my image, I don't think that's the right play. But maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Because if I go through the blinds, I'll, you know, be a lot shorter when I do double up if I am able to. I won't have nearly as many chips, but... And it's all kind of hoping everybody folds to me too, so... And that's probably one of the reasons I get really short some of the time, is because I make folds like that other players don't. And, oh, this guy doubled up, so... His weird play against me hasn't hurt him too badly. No. I do think he could be messing around with a lot of hands. Oof. I barely made the right fold. I do think that raise in first position can often be kind of a desperation shove with almost anything. I see that a decent amount. You know, I'm much more likely to think that shoving from... This is a good hand to have. Let's go 1250. I almost want to just call behind and hope I can get someone else to raise, but then if I have to go back over the top, it looks really obvious. That's pretty good. That's kind of what I want. And sorry if my mind keeps jumping from topic to topic, but when things keep moving, I kind of have to do that, and I can't stay in the past for too long, so I have to jump to the next thing. That's great. These all-ins have not been going my way, and it's hard to win when that happens. Yeah, it's frustrating, but gotta move on. See if I can get another tournament going. Here's another small one. 5K, $11 super stack freeze out or turbo, whatever. I'll just get out of the way. So yeah, again, I'm doing hour-long videos this time because I think I can upload them on YouTube. I think I can figure it out. Also, I don't know. I feel like having 9 or 11 parts is just kind of too much. But maybe having hour-long videos is just too long of videos. Maybe 30 minutes is the right length. I'm not sure. So again, let me know in the comments or send me a message or something like that which ones you like. Because I'm gonna do what you guys want. I mean, there's no reason for me. It doesn't really affect me all that much other than having to make sure I stop the video on time. But if I can upload videos longer than 15 minutes, if I stop it 5 minutes late, it's not like it's a problem. I'll still be able to upload it, which is unlike it was before, which is one of the reasons why I would constantly forget to stop the videos and we'd miss stuff, because if I let it go over 15 minutes, it wouldn't let me upload it, and I'd just not be able to use that video, so I had it automatically stop me at 14. So now I'm pretty short in this tournament, which is unfortunate. I was doing well, and I was about to be right where I wanted to be, but I still got chips, so I ain't dead yet. And this one is, I'm in the money, but let me see. In the money of a satellite doesn't usually mean much. Yeah, I made $37 if I get knocked out right now, which is actually, I think, what I put into this tournament. I put in 33, I think. If I get one more spot, I'll double my money, but if I get 7th, I'll get $215 in an entry, which would be a lot nicer. So people are going to be playing pretty tight because they don't want to get knocked out. Although this guy, I don't know what's up with this guy. Richard and Gertrude. I don't know why he made that call. It still seems really weird to me. Oh man, this is a weird spot for me. I think I'm just going to call and try to spike it. It's a very small amount. I don't know if I can raise and get away from it. So it makes me think I should go all in. Yeah, I think I gotta just shove it. I don't really like that very much, though. Actually, I don't like that check. But now I think I have to check again. I'll explain why I didn't like that check in a second. Check again. The reason I don't like that check is because I feel like you probably didn't... Oh, man. This is one of the reasons I didn't like the check, because it gives him control of the pot. That's a good bet, pretty much on whatever he has. I don't know what I beat, but a bluff, or a missed flush draw with overs, but one of those overs could easily be a king. God, I hate that play. I played that badly. It was actually a better spot to shove, I think. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Especially just a call. I don't like that. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have shoved there. I don't know. I feel like that's the right shove, though. Well, I got my chips back from losing that aces. So I guess I'm even on that now. I feel like that's the right shove, because my chips are pretty low. There's not that many people behind me. With the limper, I feel like it makes the odds right to shove, you know. So I'm not going to beat myself up about that play. I think that's the right shove there. I just happened to run into a hand, and then I happened to get really lucky against that hand. This guy doesn't seem to agree with my play. Anyways, why I hated that check with those sevens over here so much was because to call my first bet and to have hit that king, it means he had to probably call it 2 overs, which he could have done, but I don't think he would have done. I think he would have folded 2 overs there. Here I got a shove. I am short. I got a pretty strong hand. There's no reason to raise, and I don't want someone to call me. I obviously just want to survive. So I'm going to do whatever play I think is going to hopefully just take the pot down for me. I can't just wait forever. But back to this hand over here. If I bet again, and he has a hand like 8s or 9s, or one of the more likely hands to call me with, is a middle pair or some sort of draw, it gives him another scare card on the board that I could have hit. Which is like, you know, if he calls me with like sevens or six, well, I had sevens. If he had like eights or nines, I bet out. It looks kind of funky. He's not exactly sure where he is, but he has a good hand because he has an overpair, and he didn't raise me, so he's obviously somewhat timid. But then when the king comes and I bet out again, it's like, oh, well, now not only am I not sure where I am because he's made some strong bets into me, there's also an overcard in my hand, and it just gives him another excuse to fold. I can represent that king a little bit, even though it's not that obvious I have a king. A lot of players, especially at these levels, will go, oh, there's an overcard, I gotta get out of the way now. Here I'm folding because I don't want to mess around. I just want to survive. Even if this wasn't a satellite, I'd probably just fold there with such strong play in front of me. But, so I would have really liked another bet there, and if he called there, I could have gotten out of the way. Or if he raised there, I could have easily gotten out of the way. You know, and that's another question is, should I have donked out with the, you know, on the flop with my sevens, or should I have raised pre-flop? And there's lots of ways I could have played that hand. I feel like my flop and turn play maybe wasn't optimal, but wasn't bad. I just feel like checking the turn was a really bad play once that king fell. I gave him complete control of the pot and made me have to try to make the hard call of if he has a king or an overpair to my sevens. And that bet on the river is actually, I think, a pretty good bet by him. I don't know what he had, obviously, but it's just, it puts me in a weird spot of most likely having a mediocre hand and having to call when I think I'm probably beat, because I just don't see that bet being a bluff very often. Maybe it was, maybe he made a pretty good bluff, it just, the sizing didn't look like a bluff. The call on the flop made it not look like a bluff. I just really thought he had something better than sevens. I mean, I really thought my hand kind of was a bluff catcher. I didn't think he would bet anything weaker than what I had. So I kind of turned into bluff catcher, and I didn't really think it was worth it to try to. This is an interesting spot. I feel like I could definitely get shoved on, so I'm going to take the free card. If he checks again, I definitely am going to try to bet this out and take it down. But not a very big bet. Oops. Because he could easily shove and just take it down from me. I'm going to fold this. Didn't. I'm going to fold this too. And yeah. This I'm probably not going to fold, but with two plays I'm just going to call and try to see where I am on the flop. I'm going to take the lead because I feel like one of them probably has an ace that's worse than mine, and I can just try to extract some value from it this way. Here I got a shove, just try to keep my stack decent while I'm hoping other people get knocked out. Could get called by 2 overs, and which I don't want, but you know, if I do and I double up, I'm all of a sudden in really great shape to so I'm gonna think he has ace jack or ace queen is what I'm kind of playing against here. Trying to extract value from those hands. It's really good to try to put your player on as concrete of a hand as you can, so you can really play in accordance to that hand, and then it really makes you go like, this probably is where I play if he has that hand. Well, I'm still going to put him on those hands, so I'm going to shove because I feel like he'll have to call me with one of those hands. Exactly. That's why putting someone on a concrete hand is so helpful. And I feel like it was kind of easy to put him on a hand like that. I feel good because I feel like I play that hand really well. Now, it might have just turned out the same way no matter how I played it, but I was happy with my reads and everything, so it just feels good when you're able to do that. Okay. This is kind of a weird spot. I feel like I need to just shove again. I really don't like shoving here again, but I just don't want to raise and have to fold. I just feel like that's a really weak way to play this, and people aren't eager to call me. So, okay. I got enough chips to just kind of sit around. I can't do this one again. Not from that position. I mean, I'm not eager to put all my chips in the middle in this tournament, but, you know. I'm just gonna let this one go. Yeah, there's no reason to mess around with an ace jack right there. Raise from early position. Gotta be wary of those. I am really short here. Wow, I didn't even realize. That happens to me way too often. Oh my gosh. I feel like I gotta call this. I don't really want to, but... No, he did. I don't think I need to anymore. Yeah, I don't like coming... Probably should have. Man. I'm gonna protect my hand a little bit. Wow, ace 4. I'm still in decent shape to... yeah, I gotta do this. I'm just so short. There's no reason to wait. Well, maybe there is, but... Yeah, great. This guy's just calling really light. Oh, this is the guy from the other tournament. Oh. That's another reason to put a little note on him. I definitely gotta call that. Yeah, just thinking I'm button raising. Pretty typical. Not typical, the king, just typical that play happened. But frustrating that the king fell, but it's not a big deal. Man. If we weren't on the bubble, I would probably do something with this. But since we are on the bubble, I actually am going to raise, but I am not going to go all in. Because frankly, I feel like these players are going to be playing tight, except maybe this guy who made that crazy play against me. Every once in a while, I feel like these guys are just deciding, I'm going to go crazy this time, like this guy did and this guy with ace 4. I don't understand the ace 4 call, except he's got a ton of chips. I don't really understand it. I feel like these guys are not really that prepared to just shove on me. So I feel like I can get away with a raise like that a little bit more often. Shoving, I don't want to do, because if they do have a really strong hand, I don't want to get caught, you know? I don't want to get eliminated. I want to keep chips. Having, well, one chip isn't all that valuable, I guess, but having some chips is so much more valuable than leaving yourself with nothing, because there's such a big pay jump. I mean, at this point, getting 7th is as good as getting 1st, so the only thing we're playing for is moving up one spot. So you're doing everything to protect your last chip. See, like right here, I don't agree with, unless you got a really strong hand. Should go on. I'm so short. Unless you got a really strong hand, which I still don't even agree with it if you do have a really strong hand. Well, maybe I have to think about it a little bit, but you know, you're just not protecting yourself, and people aren't eager to 3-bet because they don't want to get caught themselves. So, wow, I didn't think I'd win with that. It's good, I guess, but I wasn't expecting it. You know, people aren't going to be like, I'm going to 3-bet because this guy's been shoving all the time. First of all, no one's really been shoving all the time, at least that I've seen. And on top of that, people don't want to get caught because there's one more spot to move up. So now this is a pretty strong hand, and maybe ace king actually makes some sense to shove with it, because I want to just, yeah, maybe I'm just going, maybe I was wrong with what I was saying, and this is a hand you should shove with. Because do I raise like to 4 or 5, 4.5 and fold? Yeah. So I guess I'm a little wrong. Ace king makes sense to shove with because you have a strong hand. You want to just take the pot down, but you don't want any action. Ace queen maybe too, although I'm a little nervous with ace queen in this spot. I almost would raise fold ace queen. I'll check this when I'm so short. Someone will bet and I'll get it all in. Because ace king, I feel like ace queen runs into ace king a lot. Well, my hand got stronger crazily, so I'll check again and hope I can get someone to fire out. I just need someone to bet because I feel like they're never going to fold to me if I re-raise them. And it's not like I'm worried about somebody hitting something because I don't have enough chips to really try to protect. Ugh. Whatever, I'm just gonna fold. Yeah, so I mean, I played that right. I just, tried to do whatever I could to. Ooh, I could get in right now. Eights, well, hope an eight shows up. I still don't think this guy's playing correct. I mean, maybe he's just impatient and wants to get it over with. But if you want us to play correct strategy, don't do that. Don't make those big calls. I mean, I remember reading in some book, if you can be a huge favorite, or you can have a huge amount of chips, or it can be correct to fold aces in a satellite situation. I mean, I don't know why he's playing so recklessly. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Because, that happens to him once. If he loses this, he's all of a sudden in my position, which you feel okay, but you could definitely be the one out. So I just think he's playing wrong. I mean, if you have a huge chip lead on like that, sit on it. Don't make questionable plays because there's no reason to try to increase your chip stack. All you want to do is sit on it. You could have gone through the blinds like 50 times before he was out. So just sit on your chip stack, get 7th, and be happy with it. If you happen to have aces, there might be some times when it's worth it to call and try to get it over with. But you can just wait around for aces and kings. You don't have to force anything. Now, he's probably still going to cash anyways, but I think he's still making a mistake the way he's deciding to go about playing this. When you have that kind of chip stack, like 75,000 in a satellite, you're not trying to increase your chip stack anymore. All you want to do is sit around and protect it until someone else gets eliminated. Because we're not just going to pass the blinds back around for, that long. Yeah, there are some situations where you should, but going all in with eights right there, just when everybody else is playing pretty tight because no one wants to be the one knocked out, it just doesn't make sense to me. So ace queen. There has been more 3-betting than I would have expected, but this is going to be a raise fold, I think. Now, I hate raise folding this hand, but in this kind of setting, I think it's right. Okay, that's not what I expected. A call. See, opens somebody shoves and does a strange threat. Well, that's a really strong flop, and I just want to take the pot down. This is an interesting spot here. Well, I gotta call this. Then he hit a set on me. Wow. That was a really bad play by him. Calling with 9s right there. For all of you playing a satellite in this situation, do not call with 9s in that spot and try to hit a set. He's just leaving himself really vulnerable to a lot of stuff right there. Just not a good play. But anyways, I'm really short and I'm looking like I'm going to get 8th now, so we'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's kind of a cooler once I hit that ace. anyways, so it's on break now. I'll stop this video. I'll come back in part 2, which will be the second hour of me playing. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll see you guys next time.